Hello and welcome to episode 3 of my trophy guide for Elden Ring. In this episode we will establish level farming spots and start Ranni's questline to unlock the most hidden of the trophy endings. I will also quickly mention that a patch was dropped a few days ago. Regarding this guide, it basically just made a bunch of things harder, so thanks for that. Most importantly, the mimic tier was nerfed, which is a massive part of this guide. They, quote, decreased the damage of spirit summoned when using the item Mimic Tier Ash and changed the spirit's behavior pattern. My main concern is that the mimic will be less aggressive, but we will have to see about that. At the end of the day, this guide will still give you comfortable boss strategies, even if that means changing tactics from what I originally planned. Starting with this episode, I will always let you know how many gold pickle foulfoot you need during the episode. That way I don't have to go insane constantly repeating myself. So go and prepare 15 gold pickle foulfoot. That's the 10 I use plus some extra just in case. We start this episode at the Liurnia Lake Shore Grace and make our way west from here. Take the Spirit Spring to reach the male factor Evergale. Enter it and defeat Aiden, Thief of Fire. You don't have your summon in these Evergales, but this boss is pretty easy, so just keep your distance and spam Rock Sling. Defeating him will reward you with the legendary incantation Flame of the Fell God. Then make your way back off the plateau and travel further west until the mountain opens up and you find yourself in an eerie subterranean lake. Travel all the way to the village of the Albinorics, level up and make your way to the pot guy. Crouch and hide so the perfumer doesn't notice you. Give him a nice smack, talk to him and obtain the right half of the Halig Tree secret medallion. Then fast travel to the main academy gate. The first half of this dungeon is completely uninteresting, so just run through. You will face a lot of sorcerers in this library. The best way to deal with them is to run in zigzag lines to avoid their projectiles. There will be enemies trying to grab you here, here, and here. You can quit out here to have more time for preparation. This boss will go down to our usual strategy. Only thing that changes is that you should not attack after the boss spawns their projectiles. Beating the Red Wolf of Radahn rewards you with the similarly named trophy and yet another memory stone. Level up again, and now it is time to pick up all of the goodies in this area. First go back and reveal a hidden path. Take the ladder to reach a hidden area in this hidden area, and to obtain the Graven School Talisman. This talisman increases the power of our sorceries. Fast travel back to the boss arena and take a sharp right turn outside to get above the arena and find the Radahn icon, being another legendary talisman that also speeds up our spell casting time. Both of these are really useful, so switch them with the Crimson Amber Medallion and Radahn's Source Seal. Then follow me through a shower of spells and onto the rooftops. Take out these two enemies to safely get up the ladder and run past more enemies. Do note that taking out smaller and weaker enemies is more easily done with Glintstone Pebble, as it is much more accurate. Slide down this ladder and pick up a Somber Smithing Stone 4. Get back up to reach a crystallized crab. Take it out to obtain the Twin Sage Glintstone Crown. Equip this for a slight decrease in health and 5 extra points in intelligence, which will result in more damage output. This will give us heavy loads, so also switch around your mail and grease. We are turning more and more into a glass cannon, but don't worry. We will start buffing up in health quite a lot before taking on any of the more difficult bosses. Fast travel back once more and make your way to the western edge of the garden. Pick up the golden seed and make your way to the boss. Dodge the boulder by standing here and here. Make your way around this enemy and quit out when you reach the elevator. You will have to make this run every time you die to the next boss, so what I recommend you do is quit out here and set up a backup save. If you die, you can simply reload it to save a lot of time and nerfs. This boss has two phases. During the first you will have to find the minion that has a shield around them and shatter it by smacking them with your stick. Repeat that 3 times to shatter the boss's shield, after which you can deal a lot of damage. When the boss drops down, get close to her, lock on, and then keep your distance as she will unleash a powerful shockwave when getting back up. Repeat once more and phase 1 is done. There are a few things to look out for though. Never stop moving as the minions will start breathing fire that can quickly kill you if you are unwary. Also, there are certain spots where chandeliers will fall from the ceiling. You can see that by fire and debris falling from above. Lastly, when running around the second time, the boss will charge up a very powerful attack. So if you don't find 3 minions right away, you should hide behind a pillar to safely avoid it. Do not hide behind the bookshelves, as they do not grant any protection whatsoever. Phase 2 is similarly unique and has quite a bit to watch out for. She will always open up with Comet Azure. This attack is easily exploitable by running to the right and using Rockling. Then summon your jellyfish and use the usual strategy. Run sideways and slightly towards her whenever her projectiles focus on you. Once her health reaches 50%, she will start summoning creatures. Each creature has its own way to be dealt with. For the wolves, just run away from them. For the giant, back off and keep your distance. For the dragon, back off far away to avoid the fire and then run towards her to avoid the stomp. The only actual threat is the assassin, as you will have to run away and additionally dodge its attacks whenever it jumps towards you.
Weave thy might into being.
For defeating her, you will obtain her remembrance, your second awakened great rune, and the trophy Renala, Queen of the Full Moon. Use her remembrance, activate this grace and level up.
Where did ye flee, my sweetings? Come out from whence ye hide. There are books and light aplenty.
Then fast travel to the Round Table Hold and beat the invader. He is quickly taken care of with the usual rock sling spam. Make your way to any other finger reader, and now that you have 2 great runes you will obtain another talisman pouch from her. So equip Radagon's Source Heal for slightly more survivability. Travel to the manor upper level to find the next boss. Loretta will go down just like the fight against the Red Wolf of Radahn. Use the usual strategy and run sideways when she summons the swords hovering over her. Beating her will reward you with the trophy Royal Knight Loretta. Activate the nearby grace, level up, and make your way to the Ravine Veiled village. Make your way all the way to the next boss and make use of the quit out strategy whenever needed. Again, none of the graces here are required later, but I still recommend activating them for safety reasons. Yet again, this boss falls to our usual strategy. Just make sure to lock onto its main body instead of its head. Keeping your distance will make this fight almost free, and its transition into phase 2, where it heats up its sword, gives you a large opening to deal damage. Beating this boss will reward you with the trophy Magma Worm Makar, and also marks the halfway point for this guide. This might seem weird, with over 2/3 of the trophies still missing. But since we are done with the early errands, this guide is starting to really pick up the pace. That being said, there is one last section disregarding trophies that we have to go through before we can rush through the remaining content. And that is finally establishing a proper rune farming spot. Fast travel to the smoldering wall and level up. Then make your way east to find the abandoned cave. Rush through as you get infected with Scarlet Rot. Constantly heal until you reach the Fog Gate. Restart the game and use your boluses to heal your ailments. Then engage the boss and beat it with our usual strategy. Do watch out for the rot on the ground. Beating them will give you the Golden Scarab Talisman, which passively and continuously increases rune acquisition. If you have access to online play, then make your way to Temple Quarter. If not, make your way to Farum Great Bridge and wait till we get there. This is what I was talking about at the beginning of the guide. The best rune farming spot is only available early when playing online. Make your way to Rose Church and talk to the bloody guy in front of it. Answer that it did not seem right, talk again and obtain some festering bloody fingers. Use them to invade other players. You can easily find your targets by following the yellow marker on your compass at the top of your screen. You don't have to win the fight, just let them kill you and move on to the next. You will have to use the festering bloody finger again after fast traveling, resting at a grace or dying. Talk to the bloody guy again once we have invaded 3 players. Let him anoint you to obtain the Lord of Blood's favor. Fast travel to the Church of Inhibition and interact with the dead maiden to soak the cloth with blood and make your way to Rose Church once again. Talk to the pale guy again, off your finger, then talk to him again to finally obtain the Pure Blood Knight's medal. Now fast travel to Farum Greatbridge and switch Radagon's Source Seal with the Golden Scarab. I will now show this farming route and all of you should clear it at least once. Simply spam Glintstone Pebble to kill these small guys. Once completed, you should have around 14,000 runes. If you don't have access to online play, then stay here until you reach Vigor level 40. I will be honest, that will take a few hours as I had to kill 618 of these enemies, but I am pretty sure that an overwhelming majority does have access to multiplayer. If you are that one unlucky player, then you can also choose to continue the guide without farming, but it will be more challenging. I also quickly want to address that using gold pickle foul feet is not actually worth it, as farming those will just waste more time than you gain. If you are an online player, then make your way to the Church of LA with your 14,000 runes and buy the maximum of 699 arrows. Then use the Pureblood Knight's medal to travel to the first of the extremely well hidden areas in the game, the Moquin Palace. Activate the nearby grace and pick up the map fragment. I will not do so yet, as we will go through this area again once we all have access to it. Do not stray away from my path, as there are countless invaders all over the place just waiting to mess you up. Activate this grace and equip the longbow. Position yourself here and shoot the crow. It will then run off the cliff, granting you 14,000 runes each time. Hitting it will require some practice and sometimes it won't run off, but it is still an extremely fast method. Level Vigor to 40 and make sure you have 4,000 runes left over. That also counts for the offline guys. Unequip the longbow and switch back Radagon's sword seal over the gold scarab. Then fast travel to the Cathedral of Dragon Communion as we prepare to face the boss of Trash and Garbage. Purchase Rotten Breath using another Dragon Heart and travel to the Table of Lost Grace. Rest and attune Rotten Breath, then equip Godric's Great Rune under the Great Runes tab. Buy a Rune Arc, switch Radagon's Sword Seal for the 2-finger heirloom, and use the Rune Arc to activate our Great Rune. This way we reach the requirements to use Rotten Breath without investing any runes into attributes we don't actually want. Fast travel to Impassable Great Bridge and use the teleporter. Make sure to activate this grace and make your way to the Festival Plaza. Tell the announcer that you are ready and make your way to the garbage dump. You might have noticed that I am not quite fond of the next boss. That is because this boss is completely unbalanced. This is meant to be a rather early boss as countless easier bosses are locked behind it. Yet he will completely mess your shit up if you just look at him the wrong way. His attacks are extremely difficult to avoid, which would be fine for a later boss, but again, he is more difficult than any boss locked behind him, and we also have to beat him to finish both quest lines we need to complete. Basically, what I'm trying to say is get ready to try this fight a few times. Unfortunately, after dying once, the effect of the Rune Arc will disappear, and you won't be able to use Rotten Breath anymore, so make sure to set up a backup save before the fight. If you don't want to do that, then you can either fight him normally, in which case, good luck. They also very rarely drop from reds, which you can farm at Kalu Baptismal Church on the Weeping Peninsula. Enter the fight and you will immediately get sniped across the map. This is one of the few times where you will have to iframe a move, but at least the timing is consistent, so it's not that bad. The litter around the area also blocks the projectiles. Make your way towards him as you summon the heroes fallen before you. Keep your distance until he starts focusing on the NPCs. Then quickly rush in and hit him with 2 Rotten Breaths. wait till he focuses on another summon and then ride far away. If at any time you are unlucky enough to get targeted by him, then there is a good chance you will just straight up die. Make sure to go in the same direction as I do. If you are far enough away, then he will not go after you. The rod will bring him down to anything between 25% and 45% health. In any case, it will deal enough damage that once you get close again, he will start phase 2. He will jump into the sky and come crashing down as a meteor. This will of course kill you if it hits you, just like his other attacks do. Use the time window of his impact to quickly revive all the heroes once more and wait till they pull his aggro. Now you just have to get lucky one more time. Use 2 more Radahn breaths and pray that he doesn't use his meteors on you, as you will die if he does. Make your escape and let him rot to death, as that is exactly what he deserves. I did not use my gold pickle Foulfoot in time, but not fighting him again is worth more than all the runes in the world. Beating this atrocity rewards you with the Remembrance and the trophy Shardbearer Radahn. Besting him also unlocks a lot more content in the game, including countless bosses and the ability to complete 2 very important questlines. Do not fast travel again yet, as there is a hidden off dungeon all the way north in this area. As of now, I am not completely certain if you can access this area again if you leave without activating any grace, so just don't risk it and activate the grace over there. Use your remembrance, level up, unattune Rotten Breath, and switch back the 2-finger heirloom for Radagon's Source Seal. Then fast travel to the chamber outside the plaza. I also made sure to die off camera to get rid of the great rune effects, so we are all on the same page again. You just keep it as long as you can. Talk to the announcer once again and fast travel back to the chamber outside the plaza. Now there will be a boss fight on the plaza that we will have to beat. Quickly take care of the misbegotten warrior and then start your fight of endurance with the Crucible Knight. He has a lot more health, but since we leveled our Vigor, we can also take quite a few hits now. Use your usual strategy to slowly chip down his health. Beating this duo boss rewards you with the rune's Greatsword legendary armament. Then fast travel to the Royal Moon-Gazing Grounds and level if possible. Make your way to Ranni's Rise, avoiding the dragon on the way to start your questline, which will ultimately result in unlocking the Age of the Stars ending. Make sure to activate this grace and then go talk to Runny. Agree to serve her and then talk to her 2 more times. Talk to her 2 other subordinates and then talk to her 1 more time before fast traveling to Fort Hyde.
I reside in another...
Travel down the crater that has appeared now that Radahn is defeated to reach the eternal city of Nokron. Follow me to the first boss down here and make sure to pick up the Ghost Glovewort Picker's Bell-Bearing 1 on the way, which will let us purchase more of the flowers we need at the Round Table Hold. Enter the boss fight and unequip all your armor and weaponry. The next boss will be your exact clone, so by making us weaker beforehand, it will copy our current state. Then we just put on all our equipment again, and it's basically impossible to lose this fight. Beating this boss will reward us with the Mimic Tier trophy. Check if you can level up and then proceed to the Ancestral Woods. Kill the Teardrop Scarab on the way to obtain a Somber Smithing Stone 5. Now it is time to light some braziers once again. This time it's only 6 of them. They are pretty close to each other and not as well guarded. The only difficulty will be another Red Wolf of Radahn, but nothing that a good old quit out can't handle. Then make your way to another horned remains and interact with it to reach another boss fight. This works exactly as the Ancestor Spirit fight. There are just two differences. This boss can teleport away and also heal itself, so nothing worrisome. Beating this boss will reward you with its remembrance and the Regal Ancestor Spirit Trophy. Fast travel back to the Ancestral Woods, use the remembrance and level up. Then follow me through the Eternal City to pick up some key items. The first will be the legendary Ashen Remains of the Mimic tier, which will be heavily used from now on. Following that, make your way to the deepest parts. Keep your distance to this last mimic and find the treasure of the city, being the Finger Slayer blade. You will also obtain a Great Ghost Glove word in the process, which will come in handy just as well. For now, fast travel back to the Round Table Hold with at least 15,000 runes. Offer the Ghost Form Picker Spell-bearing one to the Twin Maiden Husks, and purchase one of each Ghost Glove word 1, 2 and 3. Then go and tune your Mimic Ashes to +3. This is already more powerful than your Jellyfish, so switch them out.
Greetings. Are you here for spirit tuning?
Lastly, unequip your 2-finger seal, as we don't want our Mimic to randomly try using that. Finally, fast travel to Ranni's Rise to continue her questline. Talk to Ranni twice to obtain the Carrion inverted statue. Then fast travel to Academy Gate Town and make your way to the Carrion Study Hall. Interact with the pedestal to flip the tower upside down. Make your way down, or up, I guess. On the way you will encounter a particularly strong enemy. Just try to avoid it as best you can, otherwise you will have the Grace close by. While crossing the bridge you will have to avoid a mini-boss that we will take on later in a different location. Make your way up the tower and pick up the Curse Mark of Death, which is needed for Fia's questline, and the Stargazer heirloom, which increases our intelligence attribute and therefore our damage output. So switch it in for the Radahn Source Seal and fast travel back to Ranni's Rise. Travel over to Ranni's Rise and use the teleporter to get transported to Ainsel River. Pick up the miniature Ranni and talk to her at the nearby site of Grace. She'll eventually answer and thus continue her questline. Continue the path and hide behind the surrounding structures as you are being bombarded with rocks. Make your way behind the ruins and continue further down the river until you reach the eternal city of Noxtella. Activate the grace here and turn around, as we want to find another hidden boss in this area before proceeding the questline. Jump down here and take out the second alien creature before picking up this area's map fragment. Travel a bit further until you reach the Dragonkin Soldier of Noxtella. Defeat him using the usual strategy to obtain the similarly named trophy. I only want to mention that summoning the Mimic will take some of your HP instead of your FP, so always remember to heal after calling it. Afterwards, travel back to Noxtella. Make your way up the stairs and take a left turn to find the Ghost Glove Word Picker spell bearing 2. To proceed, you might have to take out some of the Mimic blobs, but be careful as they release a shockwave upon death. Once you reach the end of this upper section, you will find another legendary talisman, the Rune of Noxtella. Just make sure to crouch and sneak behind the enemies guarding it. Fast travel back once again and now make your way towards the exit, while picking up the exact 3 ghost glove words I do. The first 2 are guarded by enemies, so make use of the quit out strategy whenever needed. Travel all the way to the Lake of Rot, ignoring the NPC for now.
The 2 fingers that Rani the witch cometh to rend thy flesh.
Pick up the Site of Grace and map fragment and make your way back up to dispose of the baleful shadow. This fight is simple. Use Rocksling.
Beautifully fought. My thanks. 'Twas more of a challenge than I envisioned. Now I can finally stand before them. This is farewell, my dear.
Once you are done, you will obtain the discarded palace key. With this in hand, fast travel to Raya Lucaria Grand Library and open the chest here to obtain the Dark Moon Ring.
Where did ye flee, my sweetings? Come out from whence ye hide. There are books and light aplenty, dither not.
Finally, fast travel to the Round Table Hold, and thus concludes episode 3. I will see you in the next one, where we start to get into the difficult endgame.